on to TV specials.
This probably also is not a great Christmas special, but the very first Family Guy Christmas episode. I strictly say this because Peter sucks. And this is like... Peter is chaos in a bundle. And I honestly relate to Lois because she reminds me of my very first Christmas over at my fiance's family. Just trying to understand the dynamics of his relatives. They are very lovely people. I love them to death. But once again, it's the one relative that reminds me of Uncle Eddie, but also has Peter tendencies. And this episode is dedicated to her. It is so chaotic, but at the end it has a refreshing message of, even though it's chaotic, you can still come back together as a family, love one another. And Stewie kicks it off with basically being evil, which is my youngest son, David. And, you know, that's basically all the Christmas episodes of Family Guy.
I always particularly love the one where Stewie goes to the North Pole to look for Santa.
Oh, yeah, that one's great, too. That's another David. My youngest son is 5 years old now, and he is basically Stewie incarnate. Besides the fact of, like, he doesn't want to kill me. So that's
sure?
good.
Lois didn't think that he was trying to kill her.
No, he doesn't want to kill me. He just wants to, like, sneak snacks without my permission. Typical 5-year-old thing. Oh, and he also thinks he's Batman. And I'm not sure if it's Lego Batman, Christian Bale Batman, or, why am I blanking on his name? The guy who played Beetlejuice, what's his name?
Michael Keaton.
Thank you. You know, the best Batman.
Yeah. Batman Returns is also a great Christmas movie. My number 5 would be what I believe is the very first episode of Tales from the Crypt, where a lunatic escapes from a mental hospital, steals a Santa costume, breaks into somebody's house, and hacks them up with an axe.
Why? Why? Okay, I have a question for you. So far on most of your lists, they are so dark. Like, okay, I'm supposed to be the Scrooge, but yours are like slash murderer. And originally you had told me that you were the happy-go-lucky and simple man. No, you are like...
The woman who gets hacked up was awful and got her comeuppance, as happens in Tales from the Crypt episodes. So it had a happy ending.
Are you a sociopath?
No.
I don't like the pause.
What's your number 4?
The MASH Christmas episode where I'm blanking because I'm a little scared right now what your number 4 is. Okay, the MASH Christmas episode where Hawkeye is like gifting to why am I blanking? And I know in the like short episodes you're gonna be editing it and saying, "Come on!"
Now I am.
All right. Essentially, it's like the first Christmas episode that they do, and I believe they have like some sort of celebration, like with everyone, and then they have to, like, they always have some sort of emergency, and they work long hours, but then towards the end, Radar gives Hawkeye a present. And I'm probably getting the season wrong, but I remember Hawkeye being exhausted and just feeling so thankful. And then they end up getting really drunk in that episode. But it reminds you of the fact that, you know, they were doing everything they could for their, you know, fellow soldiers. And I just love the humor in it. And on top of it, too, they gave Frank a really hard time. And they were so sick of his shit. And then there comes little Radar in to, you know, essentially remind Hawkeye that he's doing the best that he can. So, once again, I'm probably getting the season wrong. But, you know, I'm still reeling on the fact that I'm sitting next to a sociopath.
My number 4 is the South Park Christmas episode where they meet Charles Manson.
Are you sure you like Christmas?
At the end of the episode, Charles Manson learns to appreciate the holiday season. So, yes, it had a very wonderful Christmas message to it.
Did they take him to jail?
They did. He escaped from jail, but he went back to jail willingly because he knew he was a bad person who did bad things and should be punished for it. But he learned to appreciate the holiday season, and he replaced the swastika on his forehead with a happy smile face.
You know, I recently watched this ghost hunting episode. So I watched Sam and Kobe, what's up guys, on YouTube. And they went to a prison asylum type place where Charles Manson's mother was incarcerated and where he was born. And I thought that was so interesting because I never knew that he was born in a prison.
I didn't either until right now.
Yeah. And I didn't know that his mom was a criminal either. So
all I know about Charles Manson is from the South Park Christmas episode, so I assume he's a lovely man.
You didn't know that he murdered people?
Wait, he murdered people?
Yeah! Are you being a butthead right now?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
What's next on your list?
So it's the Family Matters episode where Urkel is invited to spend Christmas with the Winslow family. And this is about the time when Urkel is very, you know, essentially, he's the show at this point.
Where it got to the point where it was a bit obnoxious that he just took over what was originally
the Winslow family
yeah.
show. Yeah, I mean, so personally, I do like Urkel. He's very, yes, he is obnoxious, but he is a good character because of how well he treats Laura. You know, I feel like he should be recognized of how he is a gentleman to Laura.
He is, yes.
But she is such a bitch to him. But you know, this Christmas episode, it's so heartfelt because I feel like his parents treat him so poorly. And you know, I thought it was great that they included him in that episode, and towards the end of the episode they end up singing Christmas carols. And I thought that was very sweet. And that's why I like it, because they included him in it because he had nowhere else to go. So I thought that was, you know, special. And it's one of the first shows that you actually really see, you know, a black family that really took off.
Yeah. Which is why I always thought it was a shame that it did turn into the Urkel show. But, yeah, I think my number 3 is one that you will be able to get on board with. Season 1 of the Andy Griffith Show.
Yep.
The Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Where, what's his name? The old man.
Ben.
Ben. The old Scrooge in the town.
Yep.
Who,
tries to control everything and gets really bent out of shape when things don't go his way.
And who is just a hateful, awful character in the probably the most hateful and awful in Mayberry. And he's saying something.
Yeah.
And he does everything he can to disrupt the Christmas that Andy and Barney and their friends are having in the jail, really because he's jealous and wants to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really have a family, and, you know, he's just a lonely old man, but doesn't know how to vocalize it at all.
And there's a very, I think, touching moment where they're singing Christmas carols in the jail, and he's outside in the cold looking in through the bars and singing the song too.
He looks so sad too. Like, he just wants to be involved. And then he goes and tries to steal a bench, and Andy's just like, what are you doing?
He's doing everything he can to be arrested so that he could just be in the jail with them.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know how to just ask.
Yeah, and then Andy figures it out. And that's what makes Andy such a likable character, because he's like, okay, I get it now. And that's such a sweet thing. And, you know, that's the other thing too I love about, you know, Aunt B, is because she's like, just come have food. And that's one of my, like, love languages too, being like, eat. Because she will come into the jail and feed everyone.
Yeah.
Even if it's just Otis coming there for like one night.
Yeah. She makes everybody lunch. And it's just a really, as opposed to the previous ones on my list, it's a
humble.
It's a really sweet episode that doesn't get sappy.
Right. It's not sappy. It's humble and just very straightforward. Yeah, and it's not, you know, killing or, you know, decapitating people or...
I didn't say it was perfect.